Before the stadium tours, the screaming fans, and the multi-million-dollar deals, rock and roll was raw, rebellious, and dangerously new. The 1950s didn't just give us a new genre of music, it gave birth to a cultural revolution. In this list, we revisit 10 rock and roll songs from the 50s that didn't just top charts. They rewrote the rules, shook the establishment, and lit the fuse for everything that came after. Number 10, Great Balls of Fire, Jerry Lee Lewis, 1957. Jerry Lee Lewis brought an unmatched wildness to the piano in the 1950s. Great Balls of Fire wasn't just a song, it was a full-blown performance, full of energy, attitude, and risk. Released at the height of rock and roll's first explosion, it was bold, brash, and slightly scandalous for its time. Lewis's pounding piano style set him apart from his guitar-slinging contemporaries and made him a household name almost overnight. When the song hit the charts, it caused an immediate stir. Its combination of upbeat tempo, suggestive lyrics, and Lewis's electrifying stage presence caught the attention of both young fans and concerned parents. Some radio stations refused to play it, which only made teenagers more eager to hear it. The controversy surrounding its lyrics made it one of the most talked-about records of the decade. In the long run, Great Balls of Fire became a defining example of how rock and roll could challenge cultural boundaries while still dominating the charts. Its legacy has lived on through countless covers and appearances in films and TV shows, especially in depictions of the rebellious spirit of the 50s. Musicians from Elton John to Billy Joel have acknowledged Lewis's influence on their own piano-driven rock styles.
But behind the hit came a shadow.
Not long after its release, Lewis's career took a major hit when his personal life exploded into scandal. While the song remained iconic, the man behind it became a polarizing figure in rock history, cementing the idea that in rock and roll, controversy and success often walk hand in hand. Number 9, Bye Bye Love, The Everly Brothers, 1957. The Everly Brothers carved out a unique niche in rock and roll by blending country harmonies with pop sensibilities. Bye Bye Love was their breakthrough hit, a song that perfectly balanced heartbreak with catchy hooks. At a time when electric guitars were beginning to dominate, the Everlys showed that harmony-driven rock could be just as powerful. When it first hit the airwaves, it was a fresh sound. Teenagers connected instantly with its themes of lost love, while adults appreciated its clean production and melodic craftsmanship. It quickly climbed the charts, reaching number 2 in the US and cementing the duo's place in music history. Over the decades, the song has been covered by artists in multiple genres, from country legends like Ray Charles to rock acts like Simon and Garfunkel. It's considered a template for harmony-based rock and roll, influencing acts from the Beatles to Simon and Garfunkel. Its mix of sincerity and radio-friendly polish set the Everly Brothers apart from the wilder rock acts of their era. However, the duo's personal relationship would later become strained, leading to a public and prolonged fallout. Bye Bye Love stands as a reminder that even the sweetest sounding harmonies can mask deep conflicts beneath the surface.
Number 8,
Lucille, Little Richard, 1957. Little Richard was a force of nature in rock and roll, and Lucille is a prime example of his unmatched vocal power and raw energy. With pounding piano riffs and an infectious rhythm, the song captured the unrestrained spirit of the late 50s. Richard's dynamic delivery pushed the boundaries of what a rock performance could be. Upon release, Lucille became an international hit, reaching the top of the R&B charts and making a strong impact in the UK. Its success was due not just to its infectious melody, but also to Richard's flamboyant persona, which defied the conservative norms of the time. Parents were shocked, teenagers were thrilled, and the music industry took notice. The song has influenced generations of musicians, from the Beatles, who covered several of Little Richard's songs, to rock icons like Jimi Hendrix, who played in Richard's band early in his career. It stands as a pillar in the foundation of rock's theatrical and expressive side. But like many rock pioneers, Richard's career was marred by controversy. His sudden decision to leave rock and roll in 1957 to pursue religious work shocked fans and derailed his momentum. Lucille became one of the last big hits of his first rock era, adding an air of what could have been to its legacy. Number 7. Blueberry Hill, Fats Domino, 1956.
Found my thrill.
Fats Domino brought a smoother, more soulful style to rock and roll, and Blueberry Hill became his signature song. With its rolling piano lines and warm vocals, it offered a softer alternative to the aggressive rockers of the day. It became a crossover hit, appealing to fans of both R&B and mainstream pop. When it climbed the charts, reaching number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, it was a breakthrough moment for Domino and for New Orleans rhythm and blues. His easygoing delivery and strong sense of melody helped bridge the gap between black and white audiences in an era when racial divisions still loomed large in the music industry. The song's influence can be heard in the work of later artists like Paul McCartney and Elton John, who drew inspiration from Domino's piano-driven sound. It remains a staple of early rock history, frequently appearing in movies, TV shows, and commercials as shorthand for the era's romantic side. Yet behind the gentle sound, Domino faced significant challenges. Touring in the segregated South exposed him to racism and danger, and his quiet demeanor often masked the difficulties he endured. Blueberry Hill stands as both a triumph of music and a reminder of the resilience required to succeed in that time. Number 6. Heartbreak Hotel, Elvis Presley, 1956. When Elvis Presley released Heartbreak Hotel in 1956, it marked his transformation from rising star to cultural icon. The song's haunting lyrics and echo-heavy production gave it a darker edge than most rock hits of the era. It rocketed to number 1, selling over 1 million copies and solidifying Elvis as the new face of rock and roll. His smoldering stage presence and raw vocal delivery captivated audiences in a way no one else had managed before. Heartbreak Hotel was also groundbreaking in its production. The echo effect, recorded in a converted hotel hallway, added a haunting quality that influenced recording techniques for years to come. Not everyone was thrilled. Critics called Elvis a bad influence, and TV censors tried to limit his hip-shaking performances. But controversy only made him more popular. Number 5. Tutti Frutti, Little Richard, 1955. Little Richard's Tutti Frutti was more than just a hit single. It was a sonic explosion that shifted the boundaries of popular music. Recorded in 1955, it fused gospel-inspired vocals with pounding piano riffs, all delivered at a breakneck tempo. The song's energy was infectious, and Little Richard's flamboyant performance style added an extra layer of shock value in an era still steeped in conservative cultural norms. This wasn't just music to dance to. It was music that dared to stand out. When it hit the airwaves, Tutti Frutti became an immediate sensation. Radio stations that initially hesitated to play it quickly changed their minds once they saw how audiences responded. Teenagers couldn't get enough, dancing wildly at record hops and jukebox joints across the country. It was rebellious, joyful, and just a little dangerous. Exactly what post-war youth were craving. The song climbed the charts and solidified Little Richard's place as one of the architects of rock and roll. In the years that followed, Tutti Frutti proved to be an enduring influence on rock music. Its raw, unfiltered sound inspired countless artists, including Elvis Presley, the Beatles, and later, the glam rockers of the 1970s. Musicians learned from its blend of rhythm and showmanship, making it a blueprint for performance-driven rock. The song's reach extended beyond the U.S., helping to ignite the rock revolution in the UK and beyond. Number 4. That'll Be the Day, Buddy Holly and the Crickets, 1957. Released in 1957, That'll Be the Day was Buddy Holly's breakthrough and a defining moment in the evolution of rock and roll. Unlike many of his peers, Holly blended rockabilly roots with a lighter, more melodic touch, creating a sound that appealed across demographics. The title came from a line in the John Wayne film The Searchers, but Holly infused it with his signature hiccup-style vocals and jangly guitar work. The result was a record that felt fresh, yet instantly memorable. Audiences connected to That'll Be the Day almost immediately. It was upbeat, but not overly aggressive, making it a favorite on both rock and pop radio stations. Teenagers embraced Holly's clean-cut image and relatable lyrics, while his musicianship earned respect from older listeners. Within weeks, the single had climbed to the top of the U.S. charts, and its success soon crossed over to the UK, where it would later inspire a new generation of British musicians. The song's influence on rock history cannot be overstated. The Beatles, in particular, credited That'll Be the Day as one of the first rock songs they ever performed together. Holly's use of self-written material set a precedent for bands to create their own music rather than relying solely on outside songwriters. This shift paved the way for the singer-songwriter movement and helped redefine artistic authenticity in rock music. However, Holly's rapid rise was cut short by tragedy. Less than 2 years after the song's release, he died in the infamous 1959 plane crash alongside Ritchie Valens and the Big Bopper. That'll Be the Day took on a bittersweet legacy, becoming a reminder of a career full of promise that ended far too soon. The song remains a testament to Holly's enduring influence on rock's DNA. Number 3. Maybelline, Chuck Berry, 1955.
Oh, Maybelline, ain't you be true?
Maybelline marked Chuck Berry's first major hit and helped establish him as one of the founding fathers of rock and roll. Recorded in 1955, the song reimagined a traditional country tune with an electrified guitar riff that practically defined the sound of early rock. Berry's lyrical storytelling about a car chase fueled by jealousy gave the track an edge that separated it from the love ballads dominating the charts at the time. When released, Maybelline was nothing short of revolutionary. It fused elements of country, rhythm and blues, and swing into something entirely new. The single raced up the charts, reaching number 1 on Billboard's R&B chart and crossing over into the pop market, a rare feat for a black artist in the segregated music industry of the 1950s. For many teenagers, this was their first taste of the excitement that rock and roll could deliver. The song's lasting impact is felt in the countless guitarists who cite Chuck Berry as a primary influence. His duck walk, rhythmic strumming, and distinctive solos became essential parts of rock performance. Maybelline also set the template for the narrative-driven rock song, where storytelling and attitude were just as important as the melody itself. Number 2. Hound Dog, Elvis Presley, 1956.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Elvis Presley's 1956 rendition of Hound Dog transformed a blues number by Big Mama Thornton into a rock and roll juggernaut. Presley infused it with raw energy, a pounding beat, and a rebellious sneer that captured the spirit of the emerging youth culture. His stage performance, complete with hip-shaking moves, was as much a part of the song's impact as the music itself. The release of Hound Dog sent shockwaves through America. On one hand, teenagers adored it, blasting it on jukeboxes and turning Elvis into the face of a generational shift. On the other, conservative commentators decried it as vulgar and corrupting. The controversy only fueled its popularity, driving sales into the millions and securing Presley's place as the king of rock and roll. Musically, Hound Dog helped push rock into the mainstream, bridging the gap between rhythm and blues and pop audiences. It demonstrated the commercial potential of rock while also highlighting the cultural divide between young listeners and their parents. The song's straightforward structure and infectious rhythm made it a template for countless future hits. However, Elvis's version also sparked debates about cultural appropriation, given that Big Mama Thornton's original recording had been largely ignored by mainstream audiences. Critics argued that Presley's fame came at the expense of the black artists who had pioneered the genre. This tension remains a part of the song's legacy, illustrating the complicated intersections of race, commerce, and art in rock history. Number 1. Rock Around the Clock, Bill Haley and His Comets, 1954.
6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12.
If any song can claim to have kicked open the door for rock and roll, it's Rock Around the Clock. Recorded in 1954, it initially struggled to find an audience, but exploded in popularity the following year when it was featured in the film Blackboard Jungle. Its upbeat rhythm, driving guitar, and catchy hook captured the restless energy of 1950s youth like nothing before it. When the song hit, it ignited a cultural phenomenon. Teenagers across America, and soon the world, embraced it as an anthem. Dance halls, record stores, and even movie theaters were overwhelmed by the demand. For many, Rock Around the Clock was their introduction to the concept of rock and roll as a distinct genre, and it gave them a soundtrack for their rebellion. The influence of Rock Around the Clock was monumental. It not only topped the charts, but also set a precedent for rock's global reach. Its success proved that the new sound could dominate commercially and culturally, paving the way for the explosion of rock acts that would follow. Without it, the rapid rise of the genre in the mid-1950s might have been much slower. Still, the song's association with teenage delinquency made it controversial. In some places, screenings of Blackboard Jungle featuring the song reportedly led to riots and property damage. Critics labeled it a dangerous influence, while fans saw it as a badge of freedom. The push and pull between condemnation and celebration cemented its place as the ultimate rock and roll anthem.